how does this all feed into your expectation that we are in a pretty strong economy right here? I mean, the markets seem not to necessarily be changing their tune.
Yeah, I think all in all, it doesn't change that narrative very much, Mike. I think that we're still in a pretty strong economy. You know, the numbers are probably going to get weaker next month with Omicron. So, the Fed's got some things to think about here of how much they want to, move tightening up in the face of what might be a little slower patch here coming up. You know, a couple of numbers. The biggest number to me that I'm watching, that unemployment rate falling as fast as it's falling. If that's right, if that's an accurate measure of the degree of slack in the labor market, and it continues to drop like that, it's going to bring the end of this recovery pretty fast. I don't think it's the most accurate representation. So to me, what was interesting in that report was the labor force numbers. They grew a little bit again, but since September now, roughly, labor force now in the last 3 months is up 810,000. And if I look at the non-farm payroll numbers over that same period, they're up slightly more. Mm-hmm. But my point is that it gives me a little bit of a good feeling that we have non-farm payroll jobs and labor force growth in the last 3 months that are getting fairly comparable. If I look at an average of this, non-farm payroll is up about 310,000 jobs a month since September, and the labor force has grown 270,000 jobs a month. So they're in the same ballpark, which is what we're going to have is we're going to have enough labor entrants to match labor demand to keep this recovery alive.
Right.
Because if demand goes off, we're just going to end the recovery. So that's an important number for me. And I do think that the wage number, too, I'd point out, actually, it was hot for the month, but it's down year on year. It went from 5.1 to 4.7 from last month. So I don't think wages are getting out of control. Yeah. And I do think there's some favorable labor force news.
And then implications for markets here. We're obviously got the Fed looking to get more active. What does that tell you about how much is left for stocks?
I still think that the thing for me is that real earnings are staying really firm, Mike, and I think they're going to have another rise this year. When I look back historically, as long as real earnings are rising, Fed tightening does not harm the stock market.
Yeah.
And that's just been the case. So I really think the market's got more room, as you say, away from the S&P 500 large cap growth, more towards cyclicals, smalls, and maybe even international markets if the dollar keeps falling.